welcome to another episode of Venting with Vonda. It's a little late, but I hadn't uploaded any content, so I wanted to go ahead and just kind of vent to you guys about an issue that's been kind of just weighing on my heart for a while. With this being a holiday weekend, a lot of times you run into family and being on Facebook, and a lot of people are talking about some of the things that they're getting into, and it's wonderful. But I often get questions asked to me from other women. Being in my 40s, they often ask me, what made you start over? Like, or girl, better you than me, or girl, ain't no way that I would have went back and had a child, after my daughter was grown. So for those of you who don't know my personal life, my children are 23 years apart. I got married at 40. My daughter was 20 when I got married, and we went through our infertility struggles, and that's part of the journey that I want to talk about. But I actually gave birth to my daughter when I was 43. My daughter was 23 and about to graduate from college, and I gave birth to a bouncing baby girl. Yeah, it's different. Seeing as that I had my oldest daughter, Nisha, I got pregnant with her at 19, and I gave birth to her at the tender age of 20. I had no idea on how to be a mother. We all know there's no blueprint. There's no booklet to tell you, how to be a decent parent. So definitely I, know that I had some bumps and roads, but I think I did a really good job with Nisha. But trying to get Elena was one of the most, it almost broke me. It tested my faith. I felt like I was cursed. I didn't understand why God would not allow me to get pregnant for 5 years. So let me go back. So my husband and I, started dating. I think I was maybe about 35, 36 years old. And we decided to get serious, and around that time I was 38 years old. So, creeping up on 40, we started trying naturally to get Elena, or just to get pregnant, period. I can't say Elena because we didn't know what the baby was going to be, but I really tried. Like, I wasn't on any birth control. And I would honestly say that this is the first time in my life that I actually was giving it 100%. I mean, I was doing the basal body temperature. I went and had a preconception meeting with my OBGYN. I did all the things that you're supposed to do when you're actively trying with your partner to have a child. So the first thing, after trying for about 6 months unprotected, the first thing that they'll do is tell you that, okay, you may need, some type of fertility treatment. Definitely if you're over 35, but that can even be if you're in your 20s. But if you're over 35, you've actively tried to have sex with your partner for, 6 months and nothing's happened. They generally start trying to gear you toward, getting tested, get your ovulation tested, get his semen tested, which we both did that. I knew that there were going to be some issues with me getting pregnant because at the tender age, I think I was maybe like 28 or 29, my doctor discovered that I had fibroid tumors in my uterus. And so I actually had a lot, to where I had a lot of scar tissue in my uterus. So the doctor at the time, my OBGYN, basically told me that it could be difficult for I guess, an embryo to stick to the walls of my uterus because of the scar tissue. So if I ever decided to have children, and at that time, you know, I'm in my 20s, so I didn't want a hysterectomy. I did want to have a myomectomy to have the fibroids removed. I, you know, kind of felt like, okay, well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I just knew I didn't want to have a hysterectomy and have my uterus removed. I did want to keep the opportunity open if I ever decided to have children again. So again, around 30, I had the myomectomy done. So I knew that there were going to be some issues, but you know, from 30 to 38, you know, some years have passed. You know, I just didn't really think that it would be this difficult. So the first method of treatment that I tried, my OBGYN put me on Clomid. Clomid is a hormone fertility medication. It causes you to ovulate. Now, within taking this Clomid, the thing about it is that you can fool around and drop several eggs. So this is the medication where a lot of women that if they get pregnant off of Clomid tend to have multiple births. And if I'm not mistaken, when you start taking Clomid, I think you have to sign a waiver saying that you understand that you could drop multiple eggs and have multiple births, and that you're not going to sue them for putting you on that medication. So you can only take Clomid for so many months, I believe. And then after that, if it's not working for you, if the Clomid hasn't worked for you, I think maybe in about, I'll say roughly 3 to 6 months, because it's been a few years since I've taken Clomid, then they generally won't continue to prescribe that to you because they feel like, okay, this method isn't working. Let's move on to the next thing. So then they tested my glucose and, you know, just to see if, what do you call that? I guess Black terminology, to make sure that I didn't have the sugar, make sure that I didn't have diabetes, or that my glucose levels were normal. So the doctor prescribed me some metformin. And I've heard a lot of women get pregnant off of metformin because it regulates your blood sugar. So that if you're insulin resistance, or if you have any issues with that, regulating your blood sugar and taking by taking metformin can sometimes cause you to get pregnant as well. That didn't work. So again, can't remember. I think right after we got married, we did all that prior to getting married. So from 38, and now I'm creeping on 40. So at 40, I decide, okay, you know, let's try another method, because there are steps to fertility treatments. You know, some people dive in and go straight to the gusto. Me, myself, I was truly believing God, and I was truly in prayer. I remember, this is kind of, like I said, talking about my infertility journey is, it's like walking around without any makeup or hair on or clothes on in front of strangers. It makes me feel very vulnerable and naked. And I've spoken with my family on debating on if I should put this out there, because it is my Achilles heel. So, okay, so every month that I had a cycle, and I took a pregnancy test every month. So we were actively trying. I was using the ovulation calendar, you know, the app that everybody has in their phone, to tell me the ovulation windows on when we should have sex. I mean, down to the dot. It got so bad to where I was pretty much, I would rush home from work. I mean, flying in the house, just, come on, we gotta go, you know, trying to make him, you know, just, there was no romance. I was trying to get it in. I'm trying to get pregnant. And, you know, we had to have a conversation about that, because he's like, baby, you know, you taking the fun out of it. It's all about getting pregnant. So I was doing this for a long time. So every month, I knew when my period was supposed to start. And every month, my period would start just like clockwork. And I would just be devastated. I mean, I would feel like I was a failure as a woman. I would feel like nobody in this world knew what I felt like because I yearned for a child so bad. And it was hard to talk to or, even tell people because I felt like that most people wouldn't understand. I have family members that have 4 children. I have family members that have 5, 6 children. I mean, a lot of women in my family are really fertile. So it wasn't an easy subject for me to just bring up to them. I mean, when I say I tried everything from the Geraldton method to, I even had somebody to tell me to put some rice and some of those fertility rocks in a lunch bucket and put it under my bed, And at this point, I'm so desperate, I did whatever advice that somebody gave me and what I could do to get pregnant. But anyway, so going back to the story I was going to tell you guys, it's we were getting ready to go to church, my husband and I go in the ladies' room, and of course, around this time, I guess I'm thinking that I could possibly be pregnant because my cycle, hadn't started yet. So I go in the bathroom, just to go ahead and use the bathroom just one last time before I go to church. And I go in the bathroom, that dreadful, women, you know what I mean, when you wipe and you see it. I completely lost it. I mean, I started crying so hard, but I was trying to hold that cry in. You know how kids do when they get a whooping from their mom and they like, shut up, you better shut up. And they're trying to hold it in because I did not want my husband to hear me having another breakdown. So I got myself together. I kind of fixed my face, cleaned up my makeup, and I got in the car. And all the way to church, ladies, you know how we do when we're upset. I rode to church like looking out the window, and I was in complete silence. Like there was nothing I could say because I was just so devastated. And the reason why I remember this is because it was me praying to God. Like I literally was that person that was at altar call every Sunday, just begging God, pleading God on my face, asking him, Lord, when will this happen for me? It seemed like everybody was getting pregnant. I mean, during the time that I was trying, I think I had got 2 nephews. I mean, it was so many people were getting pregnant. I temporarily worked at a foster care agency with my brother for a little bit, and I would be devastated when kids would, come up in intake showing that they were looking for a home or for somebody to temporarily take custody of them because of whatever happened. I just could not understand for the life of me why it seemed like everybody in the world was getting pregnant but me. And don't get me wrong, I knew that there were other women that were suffering from fertility issues because I used to joke with some of my friends and say, honey, the fertility clinic be popping like the club, because when I would go to the fertility clinic, at first I was embarrassed, and you kind of feel like, you really, oh God, I hope I don't see anybody I know, or you feel like you're going to be the oldest person there, or whatever. But there were Black and white, Hispanic, African, Indian, any nationality, Asian. I pretty much came across every nationality that you can think of, young, old, and nobody would really talk in there. It was just one of those, because I think we all were dealing with something. It was one of those, if you made eye contact with another woman, it was pretty much a nod just to say good luck to you, and you just kind of kept it moving. But I don't know, I just felt like I didn't understand why I, had to go through this journey. And I felt totally alone with going through this journey, even though my husband was 100% supportive. He was 100% there with me. Um, I would say 99% of my doctor's appointments, he was there. He actually would beat me there. I pull up and see that Encore truck outside, waiting on me at the doctor's office. But he was phenomenal through this entire process. And I just thank God that he's the one that God blessed me to go through this journey with, because I really don't feel like I had the strength to, I don't think I just had the strength to go on, but I just remember being at church and crying and just, I don't know, just feeling like, God, why me? But I will say, you guys, that going through this journey has made me a more patient and understanding person, because I did IUI after we got married. I think we did a round of IUI, and IUI is intrauterine insemination. I have to make sure that I look at my notes, because I don't want to mess up any words and somebody in the comments say, hey, IUI is not what you said it was, but it's this. So I want to make sure I'm on point with that. But yes, we did a round of IUI. And what IUI is, it's basically when they take my husband's sperm, and it's a process, some things that they do with the sperm as well, but they usually time my cycle when I'm ovulating, and around the time that you are actively ovulating, your basal body temperature is so much that goes into it. But once you're ready, they basically inseminate. They have like a long tube thing that they insert into your vagina to place the semen into your uterus, so that, hey, once the egg comes out, the sperm is already there, and bam, the magic happened. But after that happened, the test came back negative again. So after that, I kind of had to chill on the I had to chill on taking tests, and I had to chill on trying to get pregnant, because by now I'm hurt. I'm tired of getting negative pregnancy tests. I'm tired of going to the doctor and hearing, no, this didn't happen. So, November of 2016, my cousin decides to get married. My cousin lives in Arizona. My husband and I and my oldest daughter decide to fly out, attend the wedding. During the reception, I meet my cousin's best friend wife, and we start talking. She was really nice. She asked me, why I wasn't drinking, and I, informed her that I was trying to conceive. My husband and I, I'm sorry, were trying to conceive, and that I really didn't want to, drink any alcohol. And she asked me, how was it going, and what method was I, using, and all that stuff. And so we started discussing infertility issues. And so my initial thought process was like, wow, okay, when you kind of, and it seems like, I'm going to tell you something, when you going through things and you trying to get information, because the same thing happened to me yesterday, God will place somebody in your life that you meet that will be able to give you all the information that you need. This woman was God sent. I have never seen her or talked to her again, but she explained to me how she did a round of IVF, and how she got pregnant with her son. At the time of the wedding, her son was 10 years old. And I'm looking at him running around, and she said that was her miracle baby. And she had grown, adult children, and told me that when she married her current husband, how they wanted children together, and she did IVF and got pregnant. So naturally, when we got home, I contacted my fertility clinic that I had been going to, spoke with the doctor, asked her what my options were because I told her that I just really didn't want to continue to keep spending money, although I did want a baby, but I was kind of at the point to where I was thinking if this doesn't happen this way, then maybe I'll adopt. I was open to whatever. I just wanted to have a child. And, Marcus was more so like, Marcus is my husband. He was more so like, I think that we should just continue to try. I believe it's going to happen. And so, for whatever reason, a lot of fertility clinics, well, it's not for whatever reason, but they don't normally do treatments in December. For because of the holidays and stuff like that, and they don't want anybody to be depressed around Christmas. So they told me that we could start in January. So in January they placed me on birth control to get my hormones right because I had decided to do IVF, which is in vitro fertilization, where they go in and remove your eggs, take the daddy sperm, put them in a tea tree dish, they call them test tube babies, mix it all together, voila, get an embryo, put that embryo back up in the mommy, and if it sticks, guess what? You have a baby. So we decided to do a round of IVF. My husband and I pretty much, put our big, he put his big boy pants on. I put my big girl pants on and boots. And, we decided to do what we could. And we were blessed that we were able to do one round of IVF. And ladies and gentlemen, that one round of IVF worked. I found out May 1st, 2017, after doing my first round starting in January. She was, when did I do the transfer? I think it was in February the 15th. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember dates, you guys. I'm rambling. But I found out May 1st that I was pregnant, and Elena was born. She was due November the 8th, but Elena was born October 27th. So, my stinkable, I am so blessed and thankful, but it was a very, very hard journey. It was. I know I summarized it a bit because it is a lot, but I thank God that He blessed me with my little angel. I don't know what I would do without her, but I always say that I think that God made me wait to make sure that I was sure that I actually wanted to be a mother again. I have no complaints. So I know a lot of people always ask me, girl, I can't believe you started over, or how could you have done that? My baby was made out of love. I love that little girl with everything I have, and I wouldn't change anything for the world. So yeah, it's different. And it's a lot being a mom. I have a 3-year-old and I'm 47 years old. So it is a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I done been to the clubs. I done kicked it. I done traveled. Hey, I may not have lived your life, but I have lived my life. And I can honestly say that I'm happy. God blessed me with what I wanted. I prayed for a good man, a good husband, and someone that would be a good father to my children. I prayed for God to bless us with a healthy, beautiful baby, and we got that. So, in spite of, I am happy and I am blessed. So, that's all, you guys. Like I said, it's late. It's probably 11, 12 o'clock. Marcus was getting Lena ready for bed. I'm getting ready for bed. I actually was getting ready to take off all this hair and makeup and all this stuff, and I was winding down with my glass of wine, and I just decided, you know what, just go and be vulnerable and vent and talk about your infertility journey and what it took for me to get my Lena. So again, thank you guys for listening. Like I said, if I'm rambling, I'm sorry. It's because I'm not comfortable um, talking about this side, this struggle, only with those that are really, really close to me. And if, for those who have reached out to me, because when I had my baby, I think I was a little open about the fact that I, was doing infertility treatment. So I wasn't too open, but to those who paid attention to me checking in at the fertility clinics or paid attention to certain things, they kind of knew. And so when some women reached out to me privately asking me questions, I answered with open arms, but to have this down here on the YouTube, it's a little for me, but you know what? That's what it's all about. So I don't know if this will reach somebody. This might bless somebody. This might be, this might really help somebody make the decision on what they want to do. But I will say that if you want to be a mother, there are a lot of different options out there. You just have to find the one that better suits you. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. If you're watching it, hey, give me some comments, feedback, whatever. If it's topics that you think that you want me to vent on or to talk about, definitely put those down as topics. Don't just watch it, honey. Give me comments. Let me know what's going on. I'm thinking about expanding my channel just to, different topics. Again, I don't want to just stick with my weight loss, but definitely want to be able to talk about other things that are going on in my life, and definitely want to feel like that it's okay, and this is a safe space for me to be vulnerable and talk about what's going on into my everyday life. So again, thank you guys for listening. Again, don't forget to like, share, hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye.